So I was cruising through my Amazon Prime the other day, and I ran into a film called Sorceress, which was produced in 1982. I believe it was a theater release, although it could have been direct to video at the time. Great production value for what it is, but it is the story of some D-bag who wants to take over the world and promised to sacrifice his firstborn to evil god in exchange for the world. Yes. And of course, his firstborn winds up being twins, who of course are going to grow up to be these two hot chicks that bang the same dude. Because of course, why would that not happen? Oh. This is, if you can't tell, a sword and sorcery movie, which means it is right there in Lord of the Rings. It would be great for people in the 80s who are lonely and need to see some boobies, because the first half of this movie is like boobies, 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 violence, violence, boobies, violence, boobies, violence, boobies, violence. And then the last half of the movie is mostly violence. And this is not a bad thing. I mean, this is definitely a guy movie. It is definitely a bear movie. It is the movie that you purchased when you were too decent to buy pornography, but too lonely and too socially inept to get a girl back in the 80s. There was not much of too poor to get a girl back in the 80s. And if you had the money for a VCR, you probably had the money to go find a girlfriend. So that's not what this movie is. But I mean, the raw stupidity of this particular script. I mean, yes, okay. They do make the difference between metallurgy and a more advanced sword. That is sort of a subplot brought into there that's very weakly established. There is a scene when the two twins are bathing and their boobies are out, and they see a fawn with an erection, and they're like, "What's that between its legs?" It's like, you live on a farm. You've never seen a horse or a goat with a dong? What do they do on your farm with all the dongs? I mean, look, this is back in the day. People are living in huts here. I mean, you're going to see other people's dong. There's not a lot of clothing. I mean, yeah, I'm going to grant you that back in the day of sword and sorcery, when you didn't have that many toilets, it wasn't that uncommon to see everybody else's dirty bits. Well, being back in this time, and well, I'm not sure if you could put a time to this, but back in the time of the stone castle, you actually had what was called the groom of stool, which was a man who wiped the king's ass so the king did not get shit on his hands. And I think he used moss, so just creepy. Anyway, Sorceress is not a bad movie. It is not a particularly good movie. It is a movie that one watches in order to scratch a particular itch. And if you have that itch, I definitely recommend this movie. The costumes are well done, the acting is horrific, and there is a scene where a man actually bites a girl's rear end. So, it is a bizarre, sexually driven sword and sorcery film. Definitely a B movie, but it gets that B, it earns it. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. I'm Richard.
Greetings, humans. Randall the Rat here, reminding you that Richard, the guy that owns this channel, well, he's gonna pay to have a pound of trash removed from the ocean for every 1,000 subscribers he gets in 2019. So if you would be a good human and like and maybe subscribe and comment on this video, that would be much appreciated, because I cannot feed off humanity's dead corpse if all the humans are dead. There have to be enough humans to keep making humans for me to keep feeding off of, or I have a limited food supply. So, don't destroy the environment, don't wipe yourselves out, like and comment on this video. Right?